Welcome back to the channel. It's a lovely brisk cool morning. Let's see what surprises are when we come around the bend. Of course there is. There is a concrete pump and a cement mixer. Some concrete and doing the driveway of the new house. There's the view this morning. Back on the Bass Highway, and we're heading northwest from Burnie. I have to go over and see if there's any football games left this year over there at the behind that fence there on the right. That's the Burnie's football ground. One subscriber asked me to drive to a sporting game, so who knows? I'm doing the speed limit. The cars are just going past me. Currently, look how nice that weather looks. It is 0 Celsius. It is early August. Right in the depths of winter. Spring is usually the wet season here, so we'll see how we go when that arrives. Yeah, time for a morning coffee. Oh yeah, even more delicious. Oh, look at that beers.
If there isn't move in regulation, we might see legal moves. There's got to be some reckoning.
Yeah, people are always busy. Mel, thank you for that. That's Mel Clark there, 12 to 8. In a moment, Peter Martin with business.
Langdon says he doesn't necessarily agree with the board's reasoning behind sacking AFL coach Simon Goodwin. The Demons president has praised Goodwin's coaching credentials, which includes a premiership in 2021, but the board believes a new voice is needed to lead the club forward. Langdon, who is set to play his 200th senior game this weekend, says the player's relationship with Goodwin is actually positive.
All I'll touch on is how much I love Goody and my respect I've got for him. He's been pretty influential in my career. So definitely shocked. I mean, that's not the news I thought I'd be waking up to. That we're all very close with Goody, won a premiership with him. So, yeah, it was a big day.
The St George Illawarra Dragons have signed forward Josh Kerr on a 2-year deal from next year's NRL season. The 29-year-old previously played 68 games for the Dragons before moving to the Dolphins, where he played a further 42 matches. Elsewhere, the West Tigers have signed back rower Maverick Guy on a 1-year deal. The 24-year-old made 14 appearances for the Panthers since his debut season last year. To some more rugby league news now, and a captain's run will finalise preparation. T Brumbies have announced the departure of multiple players from their 2025 roster. Scrum half Harrison Goodard, flanker Lachlan Hooper and prop Harry Vella will all move on from the club. They join Tom Hooper, Noah Delasiu, Jack DeBrazzini and Ben O'Donnell in leaving the club. Australian cricketer Beth Mooney has scored just one for the Manchester Originals in the side's 6-wicket loss to the Southern Brave in the 100 competition at Old Trafford. Mooney's side reached 95 from its 100 balls before the Brave reached the target with 11 balls to spare. In the men's competition, Australian Hilton Cartwright scored just 9, but his side, the Southern Brave, has beaten the Manchester Originals on the second last ball with with just 1 wicket in hand. And that is all in sport for now, Sarah.
Thank you very much, Jared. We'll see you again in an hour's time. Let's talk about politician travel for a moment, because our pollies are going to continue to travel in style even after it was suggested their wings be clipped, so to speak. The Albanese government rejected a recommendation that public servants be made to fly economy if the flight was under 3 hours. Now, this review was conducted by the Department of Finance in December in response to an aviation white paper. Let's get some more on it. Robin Ironside is the Australian's aviation writer. She's been taking a closer look at these recommendations and joins me now. Robin, good morning.
Good morning, Sarah.
So we weren't saying that politicians had to fly to the US in cattle class, in economy, but we were saying if they were taking a shorter flight, that maybe economy would be okay?
Yes, indeed, that was the recommendation.
Like cattle class, I'll tell you. That's what they think of us, the normal person.
Last year, and the recommendation was that economy be mandated as the standard for public servants and SES officers, so the senior executive service officers, for flights of 3 hours or less. That's domestic or short-haul international flights. So it didn't seem to be a big ask, but it was pretty quickly rejected in the government's response to the travel review. It said no, that they wouldn't be doing that, and that the current policy was appropriate.
Was there any reason why they wouldn't be doing that? Did we get an explanation?
No reason at all. I did go to the Minister's office. Mr. Katie Gallagher is responsible for the
Yes,
finance
because
department, which delivered this review and response.
Bunch of wankers.
And no, she declined to comment.
Bloody
This is a
politicians.
question very much without notice, but do we know how often senior public servants or our politicians do fly first class on very short domestic flights?
Well, first class is
I mean business class, yeah. Yeah.
business class. Well, we don't, but and the review did suggest that only 4% of travel equipment was actually in business class, and that represented about 8% of the cost, because of course it's a lot more costly than economy. So it doesn't sound like it's being used excessively, probably, but they saw the opportunity for further savings. They pointed out within the last 2 years, $260 million savings have been delivered as a result of discounts that airlines have provided under what's called an airline panel, and they saw the opportunity for further savings through measures such as the economy in flights of 3 hours or less being mandated.
So these suggestions are all about saving money. Do we know what else has been recommended?
Well, there were recommendations around
Cut their salary.
that upgrades not be accepted unless for operational reasons, which did my head in a little
What's
bit.
that mean? Yeah.
Well, it basically, if you were told, I'm sorry, sir or madam, we have to put you in business because we can't fit you in economy, or it will,
You won't be on the flight.
play it out. Something like that. Yeah, so for operational reasons. And said, but never should anyone accept an upgrade to first class, so on international routes. That was sort of off the table. There was also some questions about status credit. It was something that certainly Virgin raised in its submission, that it opposed the acceptance of status credits when you book flights, and the review suggested that be looked at next year when the new travel policy is being put together. Virgin wanted to see that sort of scratched out immediately. They think that's giving people incentive to book with Qantas ahead of Virgin. So yeah, that's something that will be looked at perhaps next year. Certainly frequent flight points, that was scrapped for public service travel in 2010, and there's questions raised why status credits are still allowed to be collected and perhaps deliver public servants and senior executive officers perks such as lounge entry, extra luggage, priority boarding, that sort of thing.
Because they think they're
things there, but the government doesn't.
because they think they're better than us. Bloody politicians.
Do we always fly with Qantas public servants, or do they get to choose their airlines?
No, they do. They're supposed to choose the lowest practical fare. So the lowest fare at the time that they want to fly on.
Yeah, sure they do.
That they want to fly. And I guess the argument
conferences.
What's on everybody's lips today is artificial intelligence. It's dominating the conversations here at Black Cat in Las Vegas, as it's dominating conversations all over. And this is sort of the latest iteration in sort of a new development in technology, and with new things and new technologies comes risks. We're often out in front of our skis, if you will, in terms of making things function and exciting and new for people, and sometimes need to play catch up when it comes to making sure that they're safe and secure for individuals and businesses and governments to use.
The most interesting thing is that you were at the original Black Hat hacking conference. What was it like all those many years ago? It wasn't a kind of big open anti-hacking conference, was it? It was all the hackers getting together and talking about their work. And hackers, even then, they weren't villains, were they? There were people who were trying to look at ways to hack to protect companies as well, right?
That's correct. The original sort of idea was a conference series called DEF CON. It was a gathering in the desert here in Las Vegas to share, the latest attacks and defensive postures and ideas. That became the Black Hat Conference. DEF CON is still going as well. It will follow this weekend here in Las Vegas. And it was really a group of hackers. That term it still is meant to be one of nobility today, right? People that are trying to help others understand risks and vulnerabilities in the products and technologies that they use so that they can use them safely, defend themselves properly. And what you described is what the intent was. It was to get the attackers and the defenders together in broad terms and let them collaborate and share information and educate each other for the betterment of all of the world.
That was Joel Scombray, who is a global cybersecurity expert, speaking to the BBC. Let's get your weather update. If you're in Brisbane, expected to be partly cloudy today with a top of 23 degrees. Right now it is 14. In Sydney, a shower or two for you, a maximum of 17 degrees. It's 10 at the moment.
Warm up there.
In Canberra, a morning frost, then it'll be partly cloudy, a top of 14, but it's still -1 right now.
Yep.
In Melbourne, cloudy with a top of 14 today. It's 7 at the moment. In Hobart, partly cloudy with a top of 14 degrees, 8 as I speak. Cloudy and 16 in Adelaide, sunny and 21 degrees today in Perth. And if you're in Darwin, it'll be sunny with a top of 32 degrees.
32 in Darwin. Who would have thought? The temperature up there is crazy. Well, this is the main street of Wynyard. It is a lovely drive. It is a lovely town, actually. Look at that sun right behind me, the shadow of the car on the road. Oh, orange light. Let's go through. Yeah, good place to stop and get your supplies. Woolworths there. Loads of good and fun places. Turn right here, and yeah, I'll probably finish this video. This has been a nice little fun drive in the morning. This is the coach. Oh, yeah.
Good morning, dear.
Yeah, so thanks everyone for tuning in.
She got up early to plant those seeds of doubt. Unsuspecting he was never gonna work it out. On that day she was crazed with a spade. Then his bed was made.